Hello everybody, welcome back to Position Focus here at Cyclone Fanatic. Last group of Iowa State's offense that we will tackle as we walk you towards the 2013 season. Got the defense coming up, of course. Wide receivers. We saved what potentially could be the most exciting and I think by far the most intriguing position group maybe on Iowa State's entire roster for last here in the offense. Austen Arnaud, I mean this thing is, you got a Quentin Bundridge, who Courtney Messingham already came out in the spring and said, this is the guy we want to get balls to.
Yes.
All right. He is, by all accounts, the go-to guy.
Yes.
But after that, you got a Jarvis West, who's the little guy. Man, he can run. He can run, and he proved last year. He started catching some touchdown passes. Had the big game against Baylor. He proved what he could do in an Iowa State uniform. Albert Gary has shown flashes of being good. He's never been consistent. Tad Ekby, heard good things. Dondre Daly's a guy we've heard a ton of good things about as a freshman. I believe you even texted me that during the spring. Yeah. Point being, after Bundridge, and maybe you throw Jarvis West in there. I don't know what you're getting from Iowa State's wide receivers this year. I have no clue. What do you think?
Right, and that's what we talked about was so key in the tight end position focus group is that those two guys, hopefully EJ and Ernst, can help take some pressure off this position. You've got 6 guys who are gonna get reps. All 6 of them will, all in the 2 deep. That will get reps, and the one thing I like about this group is that they are, they're tall, and they're lanky. They can run. I mean, that's the one thing I'm intrigued by this group. If anything else fails, they're going to look good. They're going to look good out there.
They look good in the uniform,
right? You wish they were a little bit heavier, getting over 200 pounds. Like a guy like PJ Harris, 6'1", 160. He is rail thin, but the guy makes plays.
Boy, and he can run.
He can run. Yeah. That's the thing. That's not your prototypical Iowa State receiver. We usually get the guys that are under 6 foot and struggle to run a little bit as good as other Big 12 talent. These guys can run with the best of them, I think.
What about Jarvis West? Now, he's always intrigued me. I've always been a big Jarvis West guy.
Yeah.
But, I would call his career to this point a bit of a disappointment, to be honest with you.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know if that's his fault. Because when you're 5'7", 174, you've got to have help. I mean, your offensive coordinator, your quarterback, your running game, you got to be put in a position to succeed when you're 5'7" playing in the Big 12.
Correct.
What are the chances he has a breakout year? I mean, is there enough around him now where they can use Jarvis in some creative ways?
I think he's primed for a breakout year. I really do think that Jarvis, and I saw him, an entire year in practice, and it was just his redshirt year. The kid has got, we all know he has talent. He has game-breaking speed and agility, especially side-to-side skills. He's, second to none on this team. But like we talked about, him and Quentin Bundridge are going to have to do more. They're going to be the guys that are expected to lead this group, along with Albert Gary, who is a guy that we said has been spotty at best as far as not staying out of trouble, being on a field, being able to take care of business. But Jarvis Webb and QB are going to be guys that have to do more all the time for this team to be successful. And like we talked about, the focus with the running backs, we need playmakers. We need guys that can go downfield, catch a deep ball, as you saw at times last year with Josh Lenz as he evolved as a player and got better. This has got to be a crew that with their speed and size and continuing strength, they can get open and make big plays. They need big plays.
It's a broken record. Every year we talk about how the wide receivers have to get better.
Correct.
The Lenz era is behind us.
It's gone.
Money Reynolds is long gone.
He's long gone.
You generally here for a casual fan, not the fanatic. If you're watching this, we're probably not talking about you. But for the casual fan, you look at this group and who are these guys?
Right.
That's not always a bad thing, though, is it?
No, and it's good to see fresh life out there at receiver. Everyone's used to the Money Reynolds, Josh Lenz, Jake Williams of the world, the guys who were there and were steady. And a guy that I like and we probably haven't talked much about is Tad Ekby. He's another guy that can run, physical, and a guy that has, pounds? And I think a guy that has something to prove. He's came in the same time as Quentin Bundridge, and a guy that we need to try to talk about is Quan West. Quan West is a 6'4", 6'5" guy who can move. Coming off of knee surgery, obviously won't be able to move as well at the beginning, but that crew of guys, Ekby, Bundridge, Quan West, that were so highly touted when they came in, we need to see more out of them. That's the bottom line. I understand reps have been limited, but it's the time for them to know, take the bull by the horns, grow up a little bit, and say, hey, this is my wide receiving core. We are the elders of the position, being sophomores, and just go with it.
You know a little bit more about Albert Gary probably than the young guys. You've been around him a little bit more. He, when Barnett came in for Jantz a couple of years ago, he was drawn to Albert Gary.
Yeah.
I think he led the team in receptions first couple of games that Jared Barnett ever started at Iowa State. It looked good. It looked really good while doing it. He got into that legal trouble. Really didn't do anything last year. Is this an instance of a guy, and I don't know if Iowa State strategically put him second string in the spring to do the whole light a fire under his behind? I don't know. But I see this as a guy who, A, is going to break out and have a career-type season.
I like that.
Or B, he's going to be buried and hardly play.
It's going to be either. You're right. It's going to be one of the two. Albert has all the makings to be a good receiver. He went out of high school. He went to Arkansas and was recruited there to play football. And that in and of itself is we know the kid has talent. We know he can play. We've seen him make plays. He made big touchdown catches against Oklahoma State in the win at Jack Trice. Like I said, with all these guys, we just need to see more of it. And a lot of that has to do lies on Sam Richardson's shoulders to be able to distribute the ball and keep these guys in the fold of the game, because one thing you get, especially with wide receivers and young receivers, hey, throw it over here. I'm open. Come back and saying I'm open. Well, prove it.
How annoying is that from the quarterback standpoint, though?
I didn't play with a lot of bad guys. I mean, there were some guys that would say, hey, I'm open. But, as the older you get, the more respect you get from these guys. And receivers know, they're receivers and DBs. They're the prima donnas of football. They want the ball, or they want to jaw. These guys are hardworking guys that can run. And let's go out there and prove it. Throw them the ball.
Last year, for instance, there were a lot of times where the receivers did get open.
Yeah.
And nobody could deliver the football.
Right. The ball was nowhere.
So I think, too, if you're an Iowa State fan out there watching this and you're constantly just killing the wideouts, one, you're right, because they haven't been very good in the Paul Rhodes era. But two, I mean, this is, I think it's been more of a overall offense problem, less of a wide receiver problem or a quarterback problem or an offensive line. I mean, these things all work together. If the line's not blocking, the quarterback doesn't have time to throw. And if he doesn't have time to throw, he's not going to be as accurate.
It all works together.
It all goes together. So I think it's not fair to just kill the wide receivers during the Paul Rhodes era. But having said that, they got to get better. And
Coach Sturdy is a guy that has been implementing that will to get better. I mean, this is going to be his second year here.
Yeah.
And, I've seen him. He does a phenomenal job with the kids. He expects a lot out of them. That's the biggest thing. And they respect him as a coach. They want to play hard. They want to go out there and make plays for him. The kids love him. But, at the end of the day, it's all up to those guys wearing the numbers in the back of their jersey. The coaches just stand there and watch. They can only prepare them so much. On Saturdays, Thursdays, whenever we're playing, go make plays. That's the biggest thing, for wide receivers is making plays. And this group has the potential, scary word, big P word, potential, that they can do some nice things. But it all starts, like you said, offensive football is the hardest team sport in the game, because all 11 guys have to make sure they're doing the right thing. And, things can go right. If one guy's doing the wrong thing, miss a block, don't drop a ball, mad throw, it can go wrong.
If the blocking's there, if the running game's there, I do think that Sam Richardson will be more of an accurate thrower than Jared and Steele.
As Sam progresses and he gets better as a quarterback mentally and physically, he has time to stand back there in the pocket. He's going to be one of those guys, I think, down here in the future that's going to be able to pick teams apart because of his accuracy, his precision ball placement, and the way he gets rid of the ball in a somewhat timely fashion. Now it's only going to get better, I hope.
There you go. That's Iowa State's offense. We've covered it all. Arnaud, now the key question. During the Paul Rhodes era, the best Iowa State has ever been is 85th in scoring offense. And it's gotten better every year, but it's just been inching. Are they better than 85th in scoring offense this year?
Time will tell, my friend.
You come in here to be our analyst. I ask you a question and you ride the fence.
I ride the fence, and I will say that this team is only going to get better game by game. It's not going to get worse. I believe there will be headaches to begin with.
If they're not better than 85th in scoring offense, there's no way this team goes to a bowl game.
There's no chance.
No chance.
There's no chance. This team, if they play bad, it's obviously not going to be good, and this receiver group has a lot to do with that.
To wrap up the offense, having said all that, I think the defense is much better in 13 than anybody thinks it's going to be. And that's where we're going to leave you hanging. We're just like a soap opera. We're going to leave you hanging.
What a bold statement by Williams.
We're going to leave you hanging until we get to our defensive discussions.